the SPLM team who have organized this conference. Good evening. Greetings, Salamat Katir from your President, His Excellency General Salva Kiir Mayardit, the President of the Republic. Chairman and Commander-in-Chief of the SPLM, SPLA. We are the SPLM, SPLA. We have invited your ideas some years back before the crisis, whether you would want to change the name of the army, of the country, after you have achieved your independence, or you want to retain it. So if you are from any other party, don't be provoked when we say always Chairman and Commander-in-Chief of the SPLA, because the name of the army is still SPLA. Before I say what I want to say, I began to command with the SPLM. Then command with SPLM like Wadi Jubak. Or command zone with Aguna Deva Mujud. The woman issue was read with Wadi Jubak, but then not going to the SPLM form. Why would we have the finance with the SPLM or the Tanima Fanani? Anna from here also Anna Bahai, Comrade James Wanika, the Vice President and Deputy Chairman of the SPLM. SPLM Oye! SPLM Oye! Viva SPLM Viva! Viva SPLM Viva! Sudan Oye! Sudan Oye! Jubek Oye! SPLM Hakuna Bitana! SPLM Hakuna Bitana! Hakuna Bitana SPLM! Oh, okay. Hakuna Bitana. This is the songs and the SPLM that have liberated the country we are proud of today. We are still SPLM, all of us. Just only that this SPLM has grown too big. We are going to build the team, we have FDs. Comrade Deng Gai was supposed to be with us, he's not here, but he's also SPLM. We have SPLM IO. We have the mother SPLM, the father SPLM. We are proud of ourselves. We have liberated the country. The challenge now is how do we move forward with this beautiful country called South Sudan. Wadi Jobek and Comrade Paul Manyang and Comrade Wadi Jobek
was a G.
Bubek. Dado Bubek and Comrade Bakir and Honorable Comrade Paul Manyang, they have said a lot about us. I didn't want Paul Manyang to stop because, you know, in our school days, we were not taught our history. So always when we go through somebody or interact with somebody who tell us something small about our history, we entertain always and like listening to such statements. So when Paul Manyang went to the days of the British, the days of the old Sudan, I was really interested for him to continue, and I wanted them to continue talking to us about that. Comrades, you would recall that until 1991, we didn't have much crisis in South Sudan. People in the country were united. the SPLM as a movement was united, the SPLA as an army, we were all united. We were united under one objective, to liberate ourselves and to liberate the whole country. We didn't talk of liberating South Sudan. First, in 1983, there were voices that, why do we call for total liberation of the whole Sudan? Why not separating South Sudan? Our founding father, because of his vision and sophistication in thinking, he knew that asking for a small part of the country, you may not get it. Actually, he based himself on, there's an idiotic prophecy or a statement. We say that if you are asking for a small part of the meat, a leg of the meat of the cow, you ask for the whole. And you end up by getting a small part of the meat. So John Garang championed the liberation for the whole Sudan. And those days you ask him, why are you asking for the whole Sudan? He will tell you, what is important to you is that this liberation process and struggle, it is starting from normally, from southern Sudan. We go northward. Where you feel tired, you have no energy to continue. You stop where you think this is your South Sudan or this is your Sudan. And the call for the whole Sudan, liberating the whole Sudan, brought us a lot of friends and comrades from the Arab world first before the Africans. I happened to witness that the first shipment of armaments that we received for the SPLM SPLA were from Yemen, for example, were from Libya. I happened to be in a delegation which was led by our founding father, John Garang, to Libya, Tripoli in 1984, where we went and came back with a lot of arms for the support of liberating the whole Sudan, not South Sudan. One evening when we were in Tripoli, John Garang was discussing with Gaddafi and we were listening. And Gaddafi was trying to encourage John Garang that, John, you liberate South Sudan. Just liberate South Sudan. Since you are a revolutionary, I will still support you. And Dr. John was arguing that, no, Muallim, lazim tahrir takun the whole Sudan, takun the Sudan. The end of the discussion, Gaddafi asked John Garang that, I'm advising you why you should concentrate only in liberating South Sudan. His fears of Gaddafi were, Loita بتطالب بالليبريشن بتاع whole Sudan. قال دكتور جون أنا خايف إنه جيشك لما يكون في حدود الشمالية لجنوب السودان وأنت ماشي للسودان، السودانيين المسلمين العرب هيعتبروا جيشك ده جيش غازي. They will consider your army to be an invading army, a foreign invading army. جون قال له نو معلم، اليوم جيشنا جيش الحركة الشعبية لتحرير السودان يكون على مشارف مدني، قائد الجيش ده هيكون محمد أحمد من الشمالية. So you see the sophistication of thinking of John Garang. Then in the end, Gaddafi Gallo, congratulations. Anyway, I will liberate you, even if you are separatist, I will still liberate you because you are revolutionary. It is the theory of asking for the whole. You may go with part of it. Now we have achieved our country, South Sudan 2011. We have not abandoned the whole of Sudan, but not to liberate it using arms, or even to liberate it to continue fighting in Sudan, for example, using ideology or any other means. But peace. We want to remain in peace with the remaining of Sudan, because we are the one people, we are the same people. You recall, in all our crises, even during the liberation of the SPLM, SPLA. Many South Sudanese went northward. I believe there are a few of you in this room who may have come to America through Khartoum or Egypt. Not all of us that have withdrawn southward to Uganda or to Kenya. Because Sudan has been one in history. Sudan has been one in the Bible. Sudan has been one in all the human development. We shall remain one. We shall remain one. Yes, now we are two countries, but we are one people. As I'm speaking to you now, the approach of our president now, Salva Kiir Mayardit, is that we should have peace in the total Sudan, in the whole Sudan, south and north. Sudan will live in peace. Before 1991, this crisis were not there. You will recall that in Nasser 1991, Riek Machar Lamakol declared a statement where they rebelled against John Garang. The rebel of 1991 introduced the first split, the first violent split in the process of liberating or forming the would-be South Sudan within the bigger community of South Sudan. I believe this was the first time that you heard of things like Dinka versus Nuer, or Equatorian versus the Nilotic. Prior to that, there were some minor voices of Kokoro, for example, which was first rejected by the Equatorians themselves before the Dinka or the Nuer. We were one people. No question, where do you come from? The question was, Inter min Yato. Are you from Mia Warba Mia Khamsa? Are you from Tiger Utumsa? Are you from Koryong? Are you from Zalzal? Are you from Shasha? Are you from Chakush? Are you above Shen? Are you Shirwan? Up to 7? Those were the questions. There was no IO, there was no FDs. But from 91, the introduction of new terminology started. NASA faction, Marine faction, mainstream, SPLM United, SIM, etc. And also we witnessed a violence of comrade fighting a comrade. We fought against Paul Manyang, against Salva Kiir, against John Garang, those who stood with Riek Machar. And you here in the diaspora, you start dividing yourself. That was the first division. This first division was introduced to the family of South Sudan, not any other person but Comrade Riek Machar. Now we departed, we went to Khartoum, we signed what we call Khartoum Peace Agreement. Khartoum Peace Agreement, I've been saying that it could be a local good government, a good agreement. If Riek Machar was a smart leader, he could have used his ally with Khartoum those days to develop a path like Upper Nile. Like today, as we have the only tarmac airports beside Juba is Paloy. Paloy was not built by us, by Southerners. It was built by the North, by Khartoum, for a different objective. If Riek Machar was a smart leader, he could have used also Khartoum Peace Agreement to make roads in Upper Nile, for example. Universities in Upper Nile, for example. The schools in Upper Nile, for example. If not the whole South Sudan. But because Riek is always in quarrel with whoever is number one to him, the same reason that to him quarreling John Garang, he quarreled again with Omar al-Bashir. He rebelled again. He left Khartoum Peace Agreement. He rebelled again. He left some of us in Khartoum. And the result of that led into factional fighting among the Nuer communities. Law fought Jikai. Jikai fought among themselves. We in Western Upper Nile, we fought among ourselves, communities. After that, we united the house of the SPLM again. We started negotiating for the reunification of the SPLM from 2002 up to 2004, and then we united the SPLM again. And as a result of the unification of the SPLM, we realized the CPA, the Comprehensive Peace Agreement. This was as a result of always that unity is strength. Because if we didn't have unity of the House of the South, maybe it was going to be difficult for us to get the self-determination. Now all of you, we went united to the referendum. You voted almost 100%, 99.something% for total independence of South Sudan. Now we became independent. The first difficulty that faces us now is how do we govern the new nation? The SPLM House got divided again. Some other people had wanted a better, different approach, and you will recall that with the demise and the going of our chairman, the founding father, John Garang, there was no mighty disagreement. Quickly enough, we agreed on who to succeed John Garang, not other than Comrade Salva Kiir Mayardit, because of his position, his ranking position in the SPLM and SPLA. Salva led us to be independent. We voted for independence. The country became independent. But now the SPLM House went into crisis again. You would recall that at a certain stage, Riek Machar started talking of, come 2015, his board is not going to for Salva Kiir. He was saying this at the time when he was vice president. He did not resign first, so that he opposed the person leading him. This brought us into crisis, a lot of crisis until fighting broke out 2013. But after that fighting, we went through a process of arresting the stranger as soon as possible. With the support of all of you, whether internally in the country or in diaspora, because the experiences of the crisis of 2013 were not good. As Kwon Manyang said earlier, we were not a nation, we were divided, we were sections, tribes. Each tribe has an independent territory. The force is the same thing. Dinka the same thing. Zandi. We are different people. And where I come from, in my language, for example, any person, any South Sudanese, or any human being who is not a Dinka, or a Chuluk, or an Anywa, to me, in my language, such a person is a Jur. Jur means foreign. You can see, I believe if I go deep into the Zandi tradition, I will know also anybody who is not their neighbor is also foreign. Because even those days we think that the Zandi eat people. Lakini mmeshinda SPLM imani lakini Zandi bado nayo. You can see the level of lack of development we are in, lack of communication, which exists in the people. But we have accepted ourselves as sister tribes. That's why in the liberation of the war of Anyanya, we talk of Southerners, not Junubin, Junuba Sudan. Then we accepted to be one. That's why we intermarried this. There was no any barrier for Nuer, for example, to marry a Zandi girl, or a Zandi boy to marry a Nuer girl or a Dinka girl. No. There were no barriers. So in 2013 we went into crisis, but what had happened in the country was not good. The devastation was so bad. Was so bad in the loss of human life, and the loss of property. We lost great opportunities. The country could be different now. But quickly we arrested the situation. We agreed in Addis Ababa that it is important for all of us to continue living together. Made an agreement of 8 chapters, not a one-lost agreement. It is a beautiful agreement. It is through the government complaint about it that an article that they don't want in the agreement. The opposition also complained about it, that there were sections that are not good. But I personally, Taban Deng Gai, I've been saying this agreement look complicated the way it is. To me, it is very simple because you know we have owned it. If somebody imposes it to us, now it has become our property. It is our agreement. It is the agreement for South Sudanese. It is us to do the implementation. As we go along implementation, anything that we do not want in the agreement, simply we can say, no, we don't want this. We can agree in our house that we don't want this. Like, for example, recently we have decided that for the integration of the army, we don't need to wait for 18 months or 30 months. That we should immediately move on the process of uniting the army. Like for any person who do a project for, because you know also a project is a small business. There are those who create project. There are those who have created who take the agreement to be projects for their employment. They will want this army to remain 18 months or 30 months so that they continue with employment. Like for us as South Sudanese, the better thing that we need is that we should have, as soon as possible, have one united, strong national army. These are some of the things that this is for us. Like for example, the agreement talk of reforms. Who do not want reforms among South Sudanese? From Central here to the last person, we all need reforms. We need reforms in the area of security sector, financial sector, how to manage public finance, how to fight corruption, how to strengthen our institutions. Those reforms should be there. Like for example, the agreement suggests a big role for foreigners, a big role to be played by foreigners during the 24 months or 30 months. That one is somehow good for us because involvement of a foreigner with expertise can be positive to the process of nation building or building the institutions. But this can also be misused by somebody who wants to cause more chaos in the country. Somebody who would not be good for us. That area can be avoided. That area can be avoided. There are many people who complain that the so-called chairman of JMAC is another co-president for the Republic of South Sudan. This is true. We are not careful. But that can be avoided. It's not up to the person who has been appointed as a good chairman of the JMAC. He is there to help the people of South Sudan. It's not up to him to be a co-president. How will you do it? We have an elected president, we have a sitting president, we have a parliament, we have a council of ministers. That one can be avoided because the parties can agree. We are all South Sudanese. We can avoid such complication. So to me, the agreement is so simple. We have owned it. It is our property. And it is us to go along with the implementation. We believe also agreement is good. It can help moving the country forward. That's why many of you have followed the process of implementation. I was sent to Juba by the leadership of the SPLM in opposition then. I led a huge delegation, what we call the advanced group, went to Juba. I waited for a number of months. I went through another negotiation with Remashar for him to go to Juba. Because he did not want them to go to Juba. Now, Riek went to Juba. Who mentioned that Juba zone Maazes, the Arab attack on this one. Somebody had the somebody more not the Reno. Yes. Somebody that people need him. On his arrival, everybody separated from Salva Kiir Mayardit to the last person. Many of you would recall how Salva was happy that day. Everybody was happy. He took us the same day. But unfortunately, I believe the other day, Riek started behaving differently. Recall that I have accused him and not accused him. This is the proof 91, the crisis 91 created by him. There's another crisis of internal fighting among the Nuers. Not many people talked about it. This is what I said in 1998. Very bad, by the way, for the Nuer community. People Riek himself, he almost lost his life in a place called my wood, place with as Gaja and Ezekiel. He almost lost his life. The Gaja wanted to kill him. That was the crisis. The crisis 2013, you would recall, is that we started saying that, look, come 2013, South Bitao is not for Salva Kiir. That was good, but I think the first thing with you in America, if Biden decided not to work for Obama, I think the first thing Biden will do is to resign. Then after that, he can criticize. A time will come, of course, because many of us in 2013 were also again associated with Riek Machar the same way we were associated with them in 1991. A time will come when you will ask, but if that was the case, what took you with Riek? There's a better word in I don't know how to put it in English, but even in Arabic, but I can say it in Nuer, you know, in Fibra or Fimanugar, you could finance somebody make a cost for the fight. Then we will reach an area, a certain fight, you don't know the reason. Then you have to run for safety, for survival. What happened? After you have survived, you go and ask for the Jama, who hit you? This is what happened in 2013. This is what happened in 2013. Nobody agreed with Riek Machar to cause a fight in 2013. Many people end up in prison, like those of Ezekiel. Me, I end up running away. But as I said, we address the situation as soon as possible. There was high losses in human life and property. Riek started, after arrival in Juba, he started behaving differently. The same mistake that he has committed in 91, 98, 2013, he started behaving the same way. The first thing that we observed, those who work with us, actually he took a quarrel with us. Because we advised him not to stay behind Jabal Kujur. Because many of you maybe you have been told where he was staying before he was dislodged from Juba. He was staying behind Jabal Kujur. Very remote place. Actually, he Gaba. And then because we pressured the government, because he refused to stay in city. He was given option of houses where to stay, he refused. He said he can only stay where his forces are, in a very remote place. Told them that, but this one, what is the message that we want to send to South Sudan people? Are you the first? Are you not the first white president? Why is staying again? It's a good Figaba. Tell you command you stay Figaba. What is the message? What is the message? Every morning you come from there, huge convoy, RPGs, machine guns. The tension never went. There's a meeting of in J1. Tension, I believe many of you also were following. Tension, everybody knows that one day there's going to be a fight in this place. People fought in it July 8th. This time the fighting was not a sudden or just an abrupt fight without plan like it happened in 2013. But this one, many of us believe that it was planned. Not by any other person, but the very Riek Machar himself. The same rape of 91, the same rape of 98, the same rape of 2013, is the same rape now again causing a deadly incident in Juba. It was a very big disaster. It's a disaster that we lost in just some less than 1 hour. We lost more than 300 human souls, and it almost ended up in a crisis because of the fact that he himself would survive and President himself would survive, and when he survived, and other senior members like Dr. Ladogor, like Ezekiel Olga, like Attenwell, I think when Kodwal, it was actually a miracle. Maybe it is because of the nature of Salva Kiir himself. Actually, most of these people that I have named, most of them would have lost their life that day. And for record, that day, when they arrived that day from the airport, when I received them, so that we took him to J1 for him to take the oath of office. Actually, I gave him a briefing of a general to his president. Briefing of 1 page. 1 page is just in form of bullets. Bullet 1, because those days there were women in Juba. That look. And somebody was saying when the internet war is. You recall those days there was a lot of rumor that when the day Riek Machar arrived to Juba, Paul Malong is going to take over. Got few coup against Salva Kiir and against Riek Machar. Bullet 1, I told them, Dr. Riek, feel safe in Juba. You are very safe in Juba. There's no coup in the planning. Salva Kiir is in full control. He's in full control. He knows the meaning of full control as a soldier. Number 2, I told him, look, Salva Kiir is ready to open a new page so that he could implement the agreement with you. He's ready to open a new page. Bullet number 3, I told him, look, after you have taken the oath of office, give the president assurances how you will continue with him. Remember, I told you the other day after he had taken the book or the oath of office, the other day he started behaving differently. Actually, the days he was staying in Juba before the crisis, he was another parallel president. He was another parallel president. He was appointing general in the army, appointing ambassadors, appointing directors. We were talking of having a chief of staff of his office. We don't have chief of staff in our, I don't know whether in our constitution do we have chief of staff. We're talking of things, of parallel institutions. Parallel president, promoting army, police, appointing IGPs. A lot of things. Now people fought. And I told you when people fought, there's a lot. Of course, the president has ordered an investigation. It's going to be investigated. There is an opinion that Riek planned to storm the State House that day. Because the tension within the rank and files of his bodyguards was so high, to the extent that during the night of 7th, they killed 4 innocent officers from the government and 1 civil medical doctor on the 7th. On the 8th, the same people who committed the same crime during the night, who killed people, they were again also the one commanding the bodyguard of Demosha during the crisis of the 8th. Anyhow, President Salva saved his life, because actually, كل الأوراق بتاعه انتهى. In the evening of yes, very few of his bodyguards survived. Salva Kiir protected them. He was taken to his house to spend the night. Saturday nights there was no anything. There was lull in the country, in the city. There was tension but peace. No bullet, no fighting at all. Fighting erupted on the 10th, Sunday 10th. This is when forces of Demosha decided to attack Juba again, to storm the State House. I personally, during the day, when the fighting intensified, I decided to go to the house of the president, so that I go and talk to him. It took me difficulty to reach to his house. I decided to go to his house. In the morning, I wanted to go to church. But when I was informed that the fighting is in the area of the church that I was going to pray in, I decided to go to the president in his house. In his house, the president told me a story. He said he had just finished talking to Riek an hour ago. That he asked Riek, why are your forces attacking Juba, advancing into the vicinity of the State House in Juba? The response of Riek was that Salva, he has no control over those officers attacking Juba. That these officers are annoyed because their friends and their colleagues were killed during the incident of the 8th. That he cannot control them. The president decided to call Wani, he called James Wani Iga, that James, asked Riek, let Riek tell me what he heard from him. Riek repeated the same thing, that he cannot control those officers attacking you because they are not happy. In military terms, this means actually that is Riek who have ordered these officers to attack. Because how come a CNC to say that he cannot control it? These are officers attacking, forces attacking, advancing. The fighting I'm talking about, they were stopped actually very near to the State House. They were advancing in big numbers. He said he has no control over those forces. They were pushed back, and this led to them being pushed out from where he used to stay in Japan. After that, there were called for a ceasefire, which he accepted. And after that, he started communicating with us. One of the last things that I asked him about, because he talked to me on the phone, he gave me 5 points that he wanted me to negotiate with the government. One of the points was that for him to return to Juba, the government must accept the coming in of intervention force. I told him he's a first vice president, but in Addis Ababa, the two factions of the SPLM rejected the issue of intervention force. How can we talk about it now? This can only be negotiated by you. And I asked him, why did you leave your place in the first place? Why did you leave your house? He said he was attacked. I asked him whether he complained to his president. Tell him, did you complain because you are a first vice president? If anybody decide to attack you, did you call your president because you were in telephone with him? that you are being attacked, for the president to intervene. I disagree with him. I said, yes, I can negotiate the issue of ceasing fire, but intervention first, I cannot talk about it now because we refuse this in Addis Ababa. To make the conclusion I want to make here is that again in 2016, the only South Sudanese who can be blamed on this incident of June 2016 is again Riek Machar. And there are a lot of evidence which shows that Riek was mistaken. First of it, why was Riek moving with huge forces in Juba? Is it really to protect himself? After all, in J. Desert, if they are not under one command, somebody in the SPLM, those days, then Magara Sheikh was coming from Khartoum. He ran away from Sudanese army because they staged a coup, but was called, tough to be Muhammad al-Surayya, because he was staged by sovereigns. But now Magar was on his way to SPLA in Ethiopia. Somewhere in Bor, he got a Royal battalion of SPLA. Because these people, they arrested their officers, they were beating officers. And they said, an officer, the woman advertised, they mad because they speak Arabic. And because women, they want to change this system, they don't speak Arabic. They know only one word in Arabic, why? Why? Why women they don't know how to say two. Why? Because Magar came from a disciplined army, he's a graduate of a college, he was not happy. How can a soldier behave this way against his officer? You want to talk to the soldiers, that look, what you are doing is not good, you should be disciplined, this is your officer. Then said, okay, this is another good job. Look how big he is. So they wanted to shoot him. Another colleague of his is more Ahmad Garam. So Ahmad Garam went and rescued Magar from these roided soldiers. So after he rescued Magar, they went and sat down and told Magar, do you think these are soldiers? These are not soldiers, these are dangerous civilians. So he was asked to analyze the dangerous civilian how. He said, look, they don't have the training to make them soldiers, disciplined soldiers. They are just the way they came from cattle camp. Now they become dangerous because they are holding AK-47 and RPGs. But they become dangerous because they are armed. But look, these were the same people who are not given much discipline. Riek Machar was moving with 100 of them in Juba, going to J1 with the big number of them. Then he caused the fight. When you met together all this, plus his statement telling his president that he cannot control these forces, why the forces were attacking, then there was something behind this. Now, Riek left the area. We remain in dilemma. But that day when I went to the president on Sunday, I asked the permission of the president to go and talk in the TV and radio. The president gave me permission. I made a statement in TV and radio where I appealed for calm. And I said, look, any individual who wants to take the law into his or her own hand, he or him should know there's a president in this country. Salva Kiir is still president of the country, is still in control. And Riek Machar is still the first vice president. That people must work for CAM, which is our country. We should learn from the mistake that had happened in 2013. That statement, I was told later that it helped a lot in calming down the situation. Now we have decided to leave. Now we remain in dilemma. As SPLM, what to do? 2 months, 2 weeks left. 3 weeks we are going to the third week. Then we went to the president, whether the president was still in control, in contact with his first vice president. The president now said he lost contact with them, I think from day 11 or day 12.
The last was 14.
The last was 14, okay.
Yeah, 14.
And now, it was observed, the president now was also in dilemma just like the SPLM leadership. He has no pattern to implement it. The agreement was, it is either we allow the agreement to collapse or we use the articles in the agreement. You know, the agreement is a law. When you make laws, always you don't leave things for granted. It was also seen that in the event that such thing happened, what do you do? So, many of you will recall that the SPLM, of course, many of us remain in Juba. And after the 10th, actually, he started calling us to leave Juba. He started urging us to run to UNAMIS, to leave the hotels we are in, or houses we are in, run to UNAMIS, or ask for protection of UN forces in Juba. Which we refused, because then I was Minister of Mining. Comrade Diomatov was Minister of Dam, Electricity and Dam. Alfred Ladogor was the Interior. There were other ministers. We refused to seek protection from the UN. See, how can a minister, the minister of government, and the government is still functioning, how can you leave the protection of the government and you go and ask for protection of a foreign body? We refused. We asked the government to continue protecting us, which they did. Now we sat down after we have established that we have lost contact with us and contact with his president. We asked our lawyers legally whether the position of the chairman of the SPLM is now fell vacant, and whether the position of the first vice president is now vacant. It was established yes, because this man now is out of his position for more than 2 weeks. He is not in communication with his president. The position is vacant. It is either the SPLM leadership, Iowa leadership in Juba. Of course, we had the option not to continue implementing the agreement, but we evaluated what would be the consequences. And there were many of us, actually, more than 80% of the leadership of the SPLM remained in Juba. We did not go with Riek. It is only Riek who went left with his wife and other junior members of the SPLM. Majority of the leadership in the political bureau were in Juba. Some few of us were outside. So the question was whether we allow the agreement to collapse, but what would be the consequence? The consequence would be devastating to the country. Maybe the killing among ourselves would have been even greater than what had happened in 2013. And maybe due to this would be the time that other people now, other powers now can intervene to say that these Southerners, they fail to govern themselves. And actually that was the planning of Riek. When he talk about you run away from the hotel, go to UNAMIS, go to UN, leave the country, go down, go outside. He knows many of us will not make it. Because there was fighting. There was, he started the fighting. People were fighting. How can a general be left to run away, to go and join another camp by a general so that he come and fight back? That was not going to happen. He knew that many of us would have died. And that was his calculation. Riek said actually has calculated that, let chaos be more, so that others come in. Calamity, fury with alayhi wa alayhi, to develop an income. Alayhi wa alayhi is Madam, do you know internet, cyber warrior. Do you know Alayhi wa alayhi? Somebody can translate for you. For me and my enemies. For me and my enemies. Actually, Riek wanted that the whole thing collapse in the hand of Salva Kiir, so that Salva Kiir take the blame. We refuse to say no. It is very, actually, the result was very clear. We came from that devastation of 2013, and we allow again another severe devastation that would be more costly than the one of 2013. We refuse. We say this cannot be the option of the country. The best option for this country and for this country to last is that we must maintain this peace, the implementation of this peace. We said it was not one day sitting. It took us a process of 1 week, where we started from all the states, different states, to sit and to give their evaluation. The last evaluation was conducted by a general meeting of the Nuer community in Juba. The Nuer have what we call 4 districts. The district of Bantu, the district of Panjab, the district of Akobo, the district of Nasser. They said 4 districts. That was the last evaluation they did. The advice to the political bureau of the SPLM is that we must continue with the implementation of this peace. Now we said, okay, if the position of the SPLM chairman, SPLM chairman is backup, because this is the first question, this is for you now. If you manage to elect a new chairman, then now you can recommend to the party, to the leader or to the president of the republic for replacing the position of the first vice president. The question was, who should fill the bucket? Then about the consciously enough, again, I know this agreement, as I said earlier, that it is a very calculated and complicated agreement for others. But after we have owned it, it becomes simple for South Sudanese. Again, I know this agreement is structured in a way, that the president must come from Baghdad, because Salva Kiir is there. And that the vice president must come from Equatorial, because Waliga is there. And that the speaker of the parliament must come from Equatorial. Then we didn't have a speaker of the parliament. Now the vacancy of the first vice president can only be filled by a person from Upper Nile. It is true we did not say the person must come from Bantu or from Nasser or from Nuer or from Dinka or from Shuluk. But nobody from Upper Nile. It happened that I was chosen. And my selection was not out of from Bulu. I was also a senior member of the SPLM. When I left Juba with Riek 2013, we were the only 2 political members of the political bureau of the SPLM. Me and Riek. When Alfred and Lado joined us, I was pushed 1 step backward because 2 Nuer cannot lead also. But I still also senior, I remain also senior because I'm number 3, very close here. When this situation came, then I was taken down to number 1. I'm saying this because Fina go look at what I told them. Who I'm planning to go to Naiba or the now. أنا طبيعي بتاعي this where أنا من عندنا حاجة مشاركة مع سلفا. قال لي بتاعي سكين في السلطة. أنتوا South Sudanese who are here, you should know that. Of course, anybody, any human being has ambition. لكن ambition بتاعي never go far. عشان أنا أكون نائب أول بتاع Some of the titles that you can even observe that I don't even entertain calling myself such titles. I'm very sensitive to those. I don't call myself GNC of the SPLA in opposition. Edmund Calamita, chairman of SPLM in opposition, but the structure of the agreement. Then we must implement the agreement. I don't see them very important because there must be one CNC. For the country to be peaceful, there must be one. But you can see there are those who entertain calling themselves this. As I'm seeing my friend Lamakon is back to this. This morning, how many days ago, he has created Hajismo National Democratic Movement.
Yeah, Alliance. No, it's
National Democratic Movement.
Is that Alliance and then now?
National Democratic.
But I'm sure it is more big as CNC because actually today people fought in a place in northern Upper Nile, a place called Torwang. People fought today there because of him, it's him causing that fight. Because he's also having a pistol on the hand there. These are the people who have been entertaining, calling themselves CNC since 1991. And these are kind of people causing trouble to this country, South Sudan. The time has come that we must expose them. Kalina Yamshukum for to call yourself CNC. To do what? So I was elected in a meeting here by Alfred Lamdogore, the leadership of the SPLM, I over there, all of us, Secretary General of the SPLM, John Diomato, all of us, those of you can know were there. So we decided to continue with the implementation of this peace. From that day that I become the leader of the SPLM-IO, now we wrote a letter to the president where I was nominated to be the first vice president. The day I took oath, many of you observed that I advocate. I advocate really because I remember my mom who died when I was fighting in Kuwait to liberate Kuwait. I did not bury her. She died in Bantu, a very far place, and I was in Kuwait, fighting to liberate the country. I cannot be the vice president today in a situation, many of these people that I come from, the Nuer community, for example, they were in protection site, and some of them still are in protection site. This cannot be a situation, a good situation. This was not the country I went to forest to liberate together with Salva Kiir or with late John Garang. We did not liberate the country so that we fight among, we kill ourselves. Even in Somali, even if it happened that we marched to Khartoum. And I'm up to the Nas, who will say that Kulul Jalab they moved now. That's why today, with Salva Kiir, I'm championing in Juba now. The day I become the first vice president, I said I must champion that the two countries, South Sudan and Sudan, must live in peace. This is what I'm championing. From that day, we decided that we move faster in the implementation of the agreement. As I'm talking to you now, the government of national unity is working. We have opened the parliament. We have now Comrade Anthony Makana, the Speaker of the Parliament. We have Thomas Tochun, the first deputy of the chairman of TNLA. We are now a united government. Because you know we don't have opposition in the interim period, 24 to 30 months. There's one government of national unity, which has one program. The program is the peace agreement. Written program. We don't have new program for the government. You know, any government has a program. The government being led now by General Salva Kiir Mayardit is the government that has a written program. The program is the agreement for the 24 to 30 months to come until we take you to election. So the government is working pretty well now, doing its day-to-day work. We have embarked on a number of activities. Now many of the IDPs that are in camps are coming out now. They are coming out of those camps, going back to their villages, to their houses. This is happening in Juba, to a great extent in Bantu, to a low extent maybe in Malakal. These people must go back to their villages, to their houses. Now we have started cantonning forces. Cantonment, what we call cantonment. Cantonment is a place given to the fighters so that they are camped, so that they are organized, so that they are trained, so that they are screened. Do the screen, there are those who will go to the army, those who will go to police, will go to other organized forces. And those who may not go continue in the army because of other reasons, because of age, because of disability. But you can give them a different job. Now we have decided that there should be 4 cantonment areas in Equatoria. One at a place called Lubrun. Lubrun is there are people from Eastern Equatoria here, they will know the location of Lubrun. Lubrun is south of Kiala, in Torrid areas. It's one cantonment area for all the IO forces in Eastern Equatoria. And actually they have started arriving. Even today I received a message from one of the ministers that they have a number of boys and girls who came from Kuwaita. They are going to that cantonment site. We have another cantonment site called Korlimo. Korlimo for those who come from Jobek or Central Equatoria. You know, in Sikabita, Professor Taban Deng Gai, Sikabita Machila Kajikaja, few months from Korlimo. This will be a cantonment site for all the forces from the Central Equatoria area. Then there's another cantonment site that will be called Kidaba. Kidaba there east of Mundri. This is for the forces in Western Equatoria. Now there are voices that Kidaba may be very far from forces in Zandi land. We may agree on another force area if need be. Today I've been informed that more than 700 forces in Sikabitat Yei now are waiting directive how to go to Korlimo or to Kidaba, and about 400 in the areas of Mundari. These are positive developments. We want to come, we want to control everybody, come everybody. The second guard who is Silahi, who can Anyanya, you should cantonment site. The great Kormanyangar Kalam Himbitan, then you reconcile and among yourself, the communities in diaspora. We know you have an effect, you can create a positive effect in the road of developing your country. You can also create problems. I want you, especially those who come from Equatoria. Those who come from Equatoria, please help us in encouraging the sons and daughters of Equatoria who are associated with IO in Equatoria to go to cantonment site. There's nothing that warranted us to continue fighting. Of course, Young Machar is talking to them. He's talking to these forces in Equatoria, talking to these forces in Bargadar, in Upper Nile, not to accept peace. He wants them to fight again. And there is a resolution that they have passed in Khartoum. They met in Khartoum. They met secretly in Khartoum. They have a number of people who attended their meeting. In that resolution, they have stated clearly that they are going to continue fighting. But I'll tell you, this continued fighting is not viable. Actually, they were banking on the bad relation between us and Sudan. What about the government? Mufta Batawi, the Salva Kiir, Umar Bashir. Then the government. Back the negative force, we are not going to allow the operation of negative force in between two countries. We have already also discussed with our comrades from SPLM North. Today also I have seen a press release from them. A very good press release. It's written in Arabic. Maybe it is in English somewhere, but I have seen the one in Arabic. I believe Ladom Lado and his people in his office, they can get those documents with Riek Machar and the one of SPLM North. Because these are developments that you need to follow. So they are going to get it difficult. Riek Machar is going to get it difficult to get anybody to give him arms for him to continue fighting because he has run away from Juba. Not for any other reason, but because of reason that was caused by him. Also, the region have refused. The region have refused any violence in any of the countries of the region. The world also. Mabzo there are. There's a peace. In fact, there's a people now have to go for election. As soon as possible, when a conducive atmosphere is in the country, Salva Kiir must take people for election. So that people elect their leaders. This is the norms of the current world. Our zaman military coups is over. Matters because somebody today was telling me I have been a fee in Shata and coup in Juba. Who is the young Kuma? I'm not the coup, the Bulagita, and Yao Mahal. And Mantle again for when you return it. Where is better? To me, the last one was in Mali. I think the last one was in Mali. The last time was in Mali. 7 days. Burkina Faso. It was Burkina Faso?
Yeah, it was Burkina Faso. Yeah. In January in Mali was tough.
Yeah. 7 days, you return it to where it the forward. It is election which is accepted. Election is accepted. The Kizol complained that the election has been rigged. The last election in Kenya into the Supreme Court said like these people sitting now. Actually, the president of the Supreme Court, William Mutunga, the friend with a right of doing that. But he ruled it against the right to I don't know you are wrong. The election is not rigged. This is what is allowed in Africa now. Whether you rig it or not rig it, if you prove that you are not rigged it, and Memphis election this is what we want. Whether you put you quarter or there are 2 terms, 1 term, 3 terms, come terms, and there are liberators who think the issue of terms does not work with them because they are not yet finished with their work. They use Mugabe. This is another one. This is peaceful. This can be debated in parliament, in the streets, and in forums. But coup, no. Civil war, harm Tanyai, no. Tanyai and Tabra. What Kalama Guru Lakunda, they had Jaditam tomorrow, you will prove this. So they are bringing as a Rema Shariki for a talk together because they want to that they have to continue fight. The fighting which is allowed by you, let Rema Shar win for 2.5 years or 3 years. Let them come and compete. If he defeats Salva Kiir in the election, free and fair election, and Safiglo couldn't. Now do في State House ياخذ القسم بتاع الجمهورية ينتظر 5 years election ثاني يجي لكن بعناية زمان قال أنا we march from حاجة ده from Pagat to Juba. So we want your support your government by encouraging the daughters and sons of Equatorial, let them report cantonment sites. Cantonment site. This is very important. The security of Juba is improving so much. Taban, I talk of Equatorial. I did not mention Upper Nile because actually we have started cantonment disposal in Upper Nile. Even we have started sending them logistics, food and services, the whole of Upper Nile, cantonment. They have refused all the Secretariat for them to fight again. Reason that more fighting. The security of Juba is improving very much. Kalam of that, got a non-government, so many years. Guru got a non-government. A non-government has a disappeared. Some of that to give months again for the Agara. A non-government never put a high order. So the non-governments are disappearing in Juba. And they will have to disappear. They will have to disappear because we are going to be very tough. Nana Rajai the Ganun Mutara Yobra, which are SPLM the man. Ganun can't very tough then. Which are rape is a fire squad. The capital punishment. Armed robbery is a capital punishment. Calamity is the man with the Shanaguzon. Because para yom kulu shanat kulu bishuhu, then a very jafo. Because God betana. Not betana Robin a Kalabu woman bisma bay betao. So Juba is getting secure, as well as other major towns. They are getting secure. So the government has been back in implementing the agreement. Now the issue of states, I know the issue of states is one of your interests here. How are we addressing the issue of states? Actually, comrades, we have found out that and as did the Mankuna 28, the Masaka Kirgan 28 states. Whether the can cut it in Akum or the Kansa, and Shah woman can get you to cut it 28 states. Woman Masagusha, there's no way of you returning to 28 states. Woman can get forward. Now we are going to increase the number of states. We are going to increase them because there are problems that we want to solve. Like for example, if you are meant to know, and if you wish like a big Italian between Chalo and Deka Padang, Moga Tugyon from Malacca. And not just they have been living together centuries. They have been coexisting. Centuries. Nasa biar history of Chalo Foy, Madeka Vitapar Nabitarani, after Nasa Lamna Musahara, there are many kings among the Chuluk Line, mothers of Taban Deng Gai. Then they are bilingual. There are so many Chuluk who speak Dinka in Malacca, so many Dinka that speak Chuluk. We are going to make them coexist in Malacca. There is no way of Chuluk Gurgar Malakanda Bel Petama Nasta Nibago. Umam Tariga Deka Gurgar Beneda, Zotan Mago for Chuluk. They will have to coexist. I think you know the meaning of coexistence. The meaning of coexistence is that you accept each other. You can live. Malakal town the Mahal are we with our deck or Chuluk Baraf. Equatorial Malakal city, there are equatorial properties in Malakal town. Tamap Gulam to go map. So very soon to Mesma Karam Tagara Tarais, number of state which are raised Zilu. Al Kawajata Valis Shagalin, Bugulugan, Nagan Javle, Asher State, that was one country discussing to you and General Assembly. That's I mean, Bulu, Nagan Javle, 10 state. Appointed to 28 states. These are the people they have decided that they want to have more states. You tell them no. Nothing. So we are going to increase the number of states. Like in the number of the before, but that is the Finance Board. Finance Command Shanisim State. Finance Command area Amaro, you can put machine. The Mark Network Lamda. Fima Shaka and then the mashaka nan da like for example the Zandi Kulman land tamli is too big the Kabir mama ke the land Kulman min Tomura up to Yambo for example. These are things that don't be in the show. So nana machine head kilometer state. Low in head kilometer state. Nana halena kilometer jesh. The jesh is controlled and it's put in barracks, being trained, being reorganized. Then we move along reforms. Reform that couldn't have institution, strong institutions. A strong institution, they are the one that protect the interest of the public. Like when you come to public finance, that's you must have strong financial institutions for you to fight corruption. My country corruption. Can wish to turn a show the development. These reforms are the program of the government that I said earlier, where we shall continue implementing for the next 30 months to come. Then as the government continue working in uniting you, uniting the people, moving the country forward, we reject intervention. Then the matter is intervention. The intervention led because all over the world it has proven that intervention always. It affects national cohesion. As a day, your power without South Sudanese and guidance in this room, if your power is external, not from within you, then you cease to be one people. What definition with the definition of a state? What is it? It must be a territory of people and how they govern themselves. Simple, this is the definition of the state. So if you cannot govern yourself, if you are governed from outside, then you cease to have a unity. Then a very good Magal Gorman Yang Deka Bukun Barao, Nur Bukun Barao, Bari Bukun Barao, Moro Bukun Barao, Zande Bukun Barao, Murle Bukun Barao, Anyo Bukun Barao, etc. Then about the external intervention. We don't want external interference in our internal affairs. We accept interference which is requested by us. Like now we are talking about forming strong institutions. We don't have the know-how of how to build strong institutions. We can seek support from a country like America to help us developing our economy. We can ask somewhere from the world people who can help us developing our judiciary. We can ask for people who can help us to develop to discipline our army, train them, our police, law enforcement agencies. These are accepted. Like if somebody will come and eat Taban Deng, then I want to take over your airport. No, this can only be discussed between me and that person. This cannot be automatic. It doesn't help. And by the way, some of the South Sudanese diaspora, sometimes you sing along the issue of external intervention. Bring external forces. Do you know in the whole world, the armies are never trained the armies in the whole world are never trained to keep law and order. The armies in the whole world are trained, basically the ABC of training an army is to shoot and kill. Not to arrest and take you to jail. No, the march will to jail. The armies are trained to kill. That's why they are always keeping of protecting sovereignty of the country. It's fighting the external aggression, not restoring internal orders. Internal orders, regulation, Law and order on a daily basis is the work of the police. It is when the police come, then you can ask for the support of the army. I'm told that we are running out of time. So now, a resolution was imposed on us, Resolution 2304. We said yes, okay, we consent to this resolution. We are now discussing the detailed implementation of the resolution with the UN. That's where we shall tell them we don't want this. And that's where we shall tell them we want your support. Yesterday I was asked by a journalist and I answered somewhere, maybe you'll get it, you may be surprised why did I say so. I said we don't want South Sudan to be a dumping ground for peacekeeping. Especially when they have nothing good to do to us. As I'm talking to you, there are more than 13,000 troops in South Sudan. And many of you maybe have come across the alleged human rights violation and assault, woman rape in a place called Taban Hotel. Taban Hotel was just only 50 meters from a UN base. 50 meters. And there were many troops there. They could not even send some of them to go rescue those women. We don't want that. But if the coming of new forces is to help us opening roads, making roads, rehabilitating roads, making bridges, making some kind of development, training, increasing the capacity of our police, training our police, our army, building the decision of the country, this is accepted. This is accepted. Like, you know, one girl or woman, they are coming to do the police for us. Woman, because those who quarrel face, they speak Arabic. What will they talk to them? When they want to come and do that, look, your barrier, this is your territory. Your Delta, this is your territory. Your North, this is your territory. Your Lotuka, this is your territory. Dividing people into camping, like what they are doing now by the way. As the PNASP camps, the protected side, and then we are having difficulties now how to bring them out. Because people are ready to come out, but nobody is supporting them. We have been telling them, look, people are wanting to come out. Please let us discuss a package. Give them a resettlement package, so then they go back to their houses. They are refusing this. But now we have consented to the resolution 2304, but not accepting it as a blank check, no. We have to discuss the detail of implementation of the resolution so that we don't create another Libya in South Sudan. So that we don't create another Somalia in South Sudan. So that we don't harm our national reconciliation and healing. And about this national reconciliation and healing, you will hear tomorrow. I believe tomorrow a lot of it from Honorable Shoramba, the Commissioner of Peace. He has a lot of ideas that he will talk to you. Now that your government is working, then we have one government, we have one presidency. And actually this issue of one presidency, that we have one president now, it is the secret behind the achievement that we have gained in these few days. Because up to now I'm not more than 1 month plus or 2 months since I became the first vice president. But from that day up to now, we have achieved a lot. Later, because then we are working as a team, one team. Our ambition is to move the country forward. You reconcile. Start from yourself. God will reveal another column for me. then we should reconcile. Please reconcile. Until you start with the most difficult person. That's all people don't know. I don't want to see it again. I don't want to see it again. I don't want to see it again. This is the person you start with. But I do it after I wait. I'm not going to do Jordan, inshallah, huwa fi Tennessee, I'm sure fi Tennessee. Lo huwa fi Nebraska, I'm sure huwa. Lo duk ita kambe mahada, dimu mahada tana, yan kaji siyasa. Lakaya mawuye zima kalamu ta. Wendo kulo ya kui, ana, because this issue of going extremes, we may lose this country. Don't entertain issue of atrocity. As a finance mukalamu, God let the country be put under the UN for 10 or 15 years. Inter yatabela kutu fi 10 or 15 years with the UN will bigger peace for them today. The UN peacekeeping has been in DRC Congo since 1962. 1962 up to today, there is 17,000 peacekeepers in DRC Congo. What are they doing? Is Congo in total peace now? Okay. Total peace also will come because of your internal cohesion. Forgiveness, that your theme talking about, is what brings total peace in your country. Now as we are reconciling, we are making peace. Peace ma bishala barao. Peace is one hand, but you must bring the other hand. The other hand is development. Make roads, let us dreams. You know, not many of you, I believe not many of you knows that this great nation, America, the American highway has a major contribution in uniting the Americans, in developing their economy. The highway. Our country is not a big country. Just only 12,000 kilometers will unite the country. I'm 12,000 kilometer road. You will be uniting the whole country. 12,000 kilometers. This is enough for us. And this is costing us 12 billion, I mean, $12 billion. It's not simple money. But it's not also huge money for South Sudan. 12 billion. We can still mobilize such money. Make universities. I don't talk of primary school. I don't talk of intermediate. Actually, we have enough primaries, we have enough intermediate. But when do you send your young? You don't have universities. The current University of Juba, that which you are proud of, was meant only for 700 students. The space. Today it is hosting more than 20,000 students. When you talk of University of Rumbek, which is Rumbek High Senior Secondary School, we was built in the, was it in the 30 or 49. You talk of University of Farnite, it is my school. I went there in Senior Secondary School. Malakat Senior Secondary School. This is the university. Made public universities. Because this great country that you are talking about, it must also have future. And future can only come through education. Leaders, future leaders can only come through education. Make roads, make new cities. Let us agree, all of us, is our capital Juba? If it is Juba, let us get Juba as a capital city. If it is not Juba, let us go to Ramshell. The Nigerian decided to go to Abuja. I myself, I went to Abuja, 2000, I think Abuja 1. Was it 2001 or 2002? 1991, that's all, 1991. Abuja, 1991, 1992, okay. Abuja, then there were only 3 hotels in Abuja when I saw Abuja. 2 days ago, I talked to His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari. He told me, no, you should go to Abuja again, go and see it, how it is now. Then mungkin Naga is Ramshell, and in 5 years, Salva Kiir can go to Ramshell. So that you have a national pride. It's a minor nation, it's a good, you are a great nation, you have been mentioned in the Bible. Is America mentioned in the Bible?
No.
No, America is not mentioned in the Bible, it is great. What about us, those who have been mentioned? Several times, many times in the Bible.
Old Testament and New Testament were there.
Look. None of us let us come to ourselves. And let us think big. Let us have power. These rapids from Juba up to normally, you can produce not less than 5 to 10,000 megawatts of power or electricity along the Nile, from Juba up to. And by the way, some of these projects that I'm talking about, we have already mobilized funding for. Like for example, the road from Juba to Nanifal, from Juba to the border of Kenya. There's already money for it, $250 million. It's already paid. What delayed it is the insecurity. Those who come from Torid, you know, Kennedy. We have a project that can produce 40 megawatts for the town of Torid from Kennedy. And money for it also is already paid. The power we without the physical time in Torid. So you come Nazi said, you have already read the road. Then Karaba. Yeah, Manati said Equatorial will be the first region in do 2 term road, one from Numili to Juba, the other one from Kenya border to Juba. Don't we without what's what. I'm also told there's already funding from Juba for the road from Juba to Wow. I don't have the details. But if you ask me where I come from,
That is by Exube.
where I come from Unity State, for example, there's a Russian company. A Russian company which is going to inaugurate and open the first refinery in South Sudan, Sharid Nasher, in between Sharid Nasher and Sharwai. Sharwai, Intervesma, Arbi, Tasaba Kirza, Jan Mutabu, Jimta, Mama Jibu Kenya. That Russian company also applied that they will do the roads from Idlib in Sudan up to Rumbek. The Prime Minister of Ethiopia have already promised His Excellency Salva Kiir Mayardit that Ethiopia will do 5 roads. There were 4. But in our last visit to Ethiopia, Paul Manyang went and pushed another road that to come from Kipish to Naita Kapoita. 5 roads. Ethiopians are going to put their money in those roads. One road will go from my wood to the Adaria oil field to Palage. The other road will go from Joko to Nasser Marakali. The other road from Joko, Akko, Tiergol, yeah, so from Tiergol, Akobo, Ayur. The other road up to Panchala, Pibor, Bor. The other road, Goma, up to Kapoit. The Ethiopian are going to put their money in those roads. It's not free money. Brother Tana Kabir. Invest your money. It's just like money, like the money I talked about, the one of Torid Juba Road. Juba, Torid, Kapoita, Kenya border roads. They are not free money. These are loans against our oil, the collateral from oil. Also the carbon and Kennedy is not also free. He's a loan from Exim Bank. The Kulu from China. Yeah, Sikabita Juba, wow, Gurish from China. And Gurish from the Sikabita Torid, Gurish also from China. Against our oil. Right? 2 days ago we met our president, brother Yuana Kukuta Mussolini. Then Ethiopia is going to help us developing eastern South Sudan. What about southern South Sudan? The one Uganda to help us. He said, no, he's going to start immediately. He even counted some roads. There were roads that he knows even himself. This is good. Now we have a lot of friends. As I'm talking to you now, Sudan have already donated 250,000 bag of sorghum. Our ambassador in Khartoum today, I think he's in Kosi, he's loading now Zura to Awil and to Bantu. No, we are friends. This is the meaning of great people mentioned in the Bible. They come because they are also mentioned in the Bible. Today, they don't know Masr Gaman. Masr today. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Today, kuna Masr Zatu. Mama Sud Geli, Gale, Kanubara Fiaja, they will not free project with her. Masr, they can also go. Maybe they would also help with hospitals. And also how to train our army, to make our army productive. They are very productive. Not only heavy industry or construction, but even food in crop production. Crop production, animal husbandry, وكلام بتاع الجدال قبل المدير الخارجية بتاع مصر قال ان احنا ذاتنا المشاريع ده not only to produce food to South Sudan but even to produce food to Masr, food to export to Masr. قال ان احنا سوق بتاع 100 بليون سوق بتاع 100 بليون. America knows the meaning. And look, see also why do you think Ethiopia is making roads in eastern South Sudan? It's because is because Ethiopia is also eyeing on our oil products because there's a refinery coming up in college areas. Even the bridge that Ethiopia is going to put in roads. We are going also to refund Ethiopia through the petroleum product. Ethiopia is a huge market. They import petroleum product worth 5 billion every year. This is the market. Then لو كنت refinery بويزا بمشي لبنا بمشي لنام. So let us think big. We have the potential. Ibel, kuna ganda one is ma zone. He's an expert. She's an expert. I think one of you knows East Timor. East Timor, for the last 2 years, they have established a sovereign fund with the capital of $20 billion. Sovereign fund. $20 billion. What about us? Can we not do this? Maybe we have also resources just like East Timor. Or maybe even be more. Sugar land, the potential in our land, the potential in tourism, the potential in the minerals. As a mineral return that are more, yeah, the potential is even more than oil. Comrade, Your Excellencies, sorry for taking long. Let me stop here. It is good talking to you. Unfortunately, I have been informed now that our ambassador in Khartoum was beaten by unknown people, and then he's arrested. He's taken to hospital. We wish him quick recovery. In Khartoum, I just received this. So we wish him quick recovery. To conclude, let us think big. Let's unite the country. We are one people. We are one people. This country is liberated. You have the country now. You raise the flag here, very near here, especially for those who come from New York and New Jersey. The flag is free there. We were there this morning, so it's very free, very happy flag. To build this great nation which has been mentioned in the Bible. Many of you also are disturbed with the incidents that have happened in Juba during the crisis of last July, especially the alleged rapes in Terrain Hotel. The government have constituted a committee, investigation committee, chaired by Honorable Martin Otoromoy. Sorry, I did not introduce. Otoromoy, you can know from the name, you come from Tori. They are always old. They tend to talk into 2 young roads. He's a judge, he's a lawyer, a learned lawyer. He has done that investigation, he has finished with his work. There are people who are arrested, not necessarily that they have committed rape, but they are found maybe with missing property from Terrain Hotel, or they are found doing something in that place. We believe those who have committed crime in Terrain Hotel, actually there's a crime which is more greater than rape. A South Sudanese person lost his life. He's a journalist. He died in that incident of Terrain. You know, this is a bigger problem, bigger crime more than
even my stuff.
Than a rape. Huh?
It was my stuff. And
yeah. So the government have done. The president have issued an order establishing that investigation committee. The committee have finished with its work. They have done recommendation to the president. A tribunal is going to be formed. A process is continuing. Through this process, we may incorporate any international friend, whether American or any other person, someone who wants to help us in getting our hand into those real criminals. It's accepted. The American wanted to be involved, the FBI, they want to be involved in the process of investigation. We don't have any sensitivity with that. It's only that this committee has finished with his work. We don't know what the president will decide next. But at the time, the American can give us the support we want from them. Because really, those criminals, they are responsible of themselves. They don't represent South Sudanese people. They don't represent the government. They are criminals, and they must face the harshest law, process of the law of the country. Once again, comrade, I thank you very much. I thank you for listening. SPLM.